On the night of November 18th, 1986, Helle Crafts returned to her home in Newtown, Connecticut, a flight attendant, a mother of 3, in the middle of a divorce. She walked through her front door and then quietly vanished. There was no loud public argument, no forced entry, no immediate alarm. At first it seemed she had simply stepped out of her own life, but in the days that followed, the physical world began to offer traces. Quiet, persistent details that suggested someone or something had been watching, recording, even when no human was. The house, the rental receipts, the snow along a riverbank, all would become witnesses. This is a case not about a single shocking piece of evidence, but about how to build a whole truth from near nothing. Helle Crafts was 39. She worked for Pan Am and traveled frequently. She had uncovered her husband Richard's infidelities, hired a private investigator, and begun divorce proceedings. She had told a friend with chilling clarity, "If anything happens to me, don't think it was an accident." On that November evening, a friend dropped her off. A severe ice storm was moving in. Inside the house, the family's nanny heard a loud argument, then a heavy thump, and then silence. By morning, Richard Crafts presented a new, calm narrative. He told their children their mother had taken a sudden trip to visit family in Denmark. He was composed, plausible, but the facts refused to align. Her passport was at home. Her car was found parked at the airport. No taxi was ever called. No flight was booked. When concerned friends entered the house weeks later, they noted the void wasn't just Helle's absence. It was in the space itself. A large section of the master bedroom carpet had been cut out and removed. A mattress pad was gone. An electric blanket was missing. The house was unsettlingly clean. The initial challenge for investigators was profound. How do you investigate a crime when there is no body, no witness, and the primary scene has been meticulously edited? Faced with this void, the Connecticut State Police made a critical pivot. If they couldn't find a crime scene, they would look for evidence of a crime scene's erasure. They stopped asking, "Where is Helle?" and began asking, "What would you need to make a person disappear?" The investigation became an exercise in logistics. The paper trail revealed a sequence of acquisitions. Richard had recently purchased a new chainsaw and a large stand-up freezer. The freezer was later found in a storage unit, scoured with bleach. Then the rentals. The day after Helle vanished, he rented a U-Haul truck. The day after that, he rented a 1-ton industrial wood chipper. And then, an observation so anomalous, it stuck in a witness's memory. A truck driver passing over Lake Zor during that same ice storm saw a man operating a wood chipper on the deserted, snow-covered boat ramp in the pre-dawn dark. It was an image of profound absurdity. A pattern of grim logic was emerging. Freezer, chainsaw, U-Haul, wood chipper, a remote river location, a storm for cover. It was a hypothesis of annihilation, but a court needs proof, not theory. The hypothesis was that a body had been fed into that machine and scattered. To prove it, they would have to find what the machine and the river had conspired to leave behind. In January of 1987, led by forensic scientist Dr. Henry Lee, police began an operation of monumental patience. Their crime scene was a quarter-mile of frozen riverbank. Their task was to recover the infinitesimal. For weeks, they served over 100 cubic yards of frozen mud and debris, tons of material. They weren't looking for a clue. They were looking for the smallest physical remnants of a human being. Slowly, the riverbank yielded its testimony, not as a revelation, but as an accumulation. The total harvest was 56 grams, less than the weight of 2 AA batteries. But within it were over 2,660 individual fragments of bone and tissue. And within that collection were specific identifiers: strands of blonde hair, a 2 mm fragment of a fingernail, coated in light blue polish, Hell's known color, blue and green acrylic fibers, and most critically, a single quarter-inch piece of a human tooth. Now, the science began to weave these fragments into an identity. The colored fibers, under microscopic and chemical analysis, were matched definitively to the missing bedroom carpet and electric blanket from the Crafts' home. The tooth fragment was sent to forensic odontologist Dr. Lowell Levine. It contained a distinct, unique pattern, a gold filling underlying a porcelain crown. Dr. Levine compared it to Hellcraft's dental records. The match was conclusive. This fragment could have come from only one person. The chain was now closed and unbreakable. An item from the home transferred fibers to the victim. The victim, bearing those fibers, was taken to the riverbank. The act of destruction there left behind fragments, carrying the markers of both the victim and her home. Back inside the home, what initially seemed like nothing began to speak with new clarity. The small, almost invisible blood smears on the mattress, once typed, matched Hella. The clean, methodical cuts removing the carpet squares now explained the source of the fibers. The absence of the freezer, the chainsaw, the rented tools. These voids themselves became evidence of a process. At trial, the prosecution faced the ultimate challenge, convincing a jury of murder without a body. They presented not a corpse, but the irrefutable logic of absence. They showed the sequence of tools. They presented the witness to the anomalous wood chipper in the storm. They laid out the 2,660 fragments and the forensic links that tied each one back to Hell and her home. The defense argued it was all circumstantial, but the prosecution's closing argument reframed the entire case. Richard Crafts didn't just take a life. He attempted to unwrite a human being from existence. He asked you to look at this case and see nothing. But we ask you to see what that nothing means. It means a missing rug. It means a freezer cleaned with bleach. It means a man with a wood chipper in an ice storm. It means a story told in 2,660 fragments. In 1989, Richard Crafts was convicted of murder and sentenced to 50 years. It was a landmark verdict, a successful no-body homicide conviction, built almost entirely on forensic reconstruction and the power of negative space. This case is often remembered for the wood chipper. But the tool wasn't the breakthrough. The breakthrough was the method. The fifth witness here reveals a pattern we can call the perpetrator-created crime scene. In a typical homicide, a perpetrator creates one scene. In a case of attempted erasure, the perpetrator must engage in a complex, multi-step process. They must acquire tools. They must transport evidence. They must create a vast secondary disposal site. Each step is a new event, generating new transfer evidence, new paper trails, new opportunities for an anomalous sighting. Richard Crafts, in trying to create a perfect silence, didn't erase evidence. He multiplied it. He turned a single bedroom into a crime scene that spanned counties, involving rental companies, a frozen riverbank, and a snowplow driver's memory. He transformed one body into thousands of data points. The lesson is foundational. Matter cannot be created or destroyed. A human life in its physical form is matter. The attempt to make it vanish doesn't create an end. It creates a different, more complex, and often more eloquent, beginning for an investigation. The evidence is not always in what is dramatically present. Sometimes the most reliable witness is the unseen one, in the walls, in the fibers, in the terrifying logical shape of what is missing. The world is always recording. The true skill is in learning how to listen to its quietest testimony.